Tua Tagovailoa, who currently coming off the board right around QB 15, and last season 560 yards or 60 attempts, 388 completions, 4,624 yards, 29 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 35 rush attempts for 74 yards, 0 touchdowns on the ground. Thoughts on Tua?
If Tua can cut down on the turnovers, I think he's back up there in QB1 territory. Like I think there's some value built in there. This offense is built to be able to chuck it out after you establish the run. And between Raheem Mostert, Devon Achane, you have Jeff Wilson still there. They brought in Jalen Wright from Tennessee. So I think that they did that, and then you still have Tyreek, right? And yes, he's getting a little bit longer in the tooth, but until the guy doesn't have it, he's a dog, right? Like he's a guy that you want, and you have Jalen Waddle, like so you have some clear pass catchers there to help him out with there. They just brought in Odell. Take that for what it is, but the name alone is going to get attention, right? Like you're going to have to spend time planning for the Dolphins, and Odell's just another guy you're going to have to plan for at this point. And so I think Tua's getting underdrafted a little bit. I like him in this spot, especially if you're waiting on quarterback. Him and the next guy we're going to cover, I like a lot, and I think Tua's getting overlooked because of the rookie love. I like Tua more than Caleb Williams. I like Tua more than Jaden Daniels. It's established. We've seen it. We understand what this is.
You can have some stinkers of a week. Like I'm going back and looking at Tua's weekly finish. This is in standard scoring from last year, but like he was QB1 and also QB 26. Like that is the range for Tua throughout the course of the season. And it just, like that's kind of the roller coaster that you're going to ride with this Miami Dolphins offense, especially considering that there are so many playmakers that don't rely on Tua to give them the ball to be explosive and be a playmaker like that, right? Like McDaniels is pretty creative down there. The running game's pretty creative down there, and everybody's fast. It's the Oregon Ducks 2.0 South Beach version.
And part of the problem too, right? Like the schedule being tough on the back half of the season, like we've seen this now a couple of seasons in a row out of the Dolphins where they come out the gate just super hot. And especially last year, like Tua was lighting the world on fire from a fantasy perspective early in the season, and then dropped off considerably as the schedule started getting harder. And year before that too, right? Like we saw the Dolphins get off to a hot start and then kind of start stumbling down the stretch there. So, that's unfortunate to say it's kind of par for the course, but this might be one of those that you draft Tua, you kind of ride out that beginning part of that schedule for that and what the Dolphins may look like early on in the season, and then you see if you can flip that, trade that, and try and move in a different direction at that point.